everyone, my name's Becky from Back to Blighty and welcome to episode 17 of the podcast. I am coming at you today from the south coast of England where I live with my partner, our Springer Spaniel called Molly, and sometimes our son who is currently away at university. So you can find me on Ravelry and Facebook and Instagram. All the links to those will be down below. And thank you to all who have commented and subscribed in the past, and welcome to any new viewers. It's lovely to have you with me today. This is kind of where I talk about all the knitty and yarny goodness. So I've just got home. I'm in my kitchen at the moment because the light is just dreadful and I really wanted to get a podcast out to you all. So I apologise for the backdrop, you know, fridge freezer, you know, there's a bit of yarn there. So that's, you know, a little bit aesthetically pleasing. But you can see how awful the light is because we're having a lot of showers and then bright sunshine today. So you can see, like over here, it's like washed out. So I've had to pull the curtains slightly. We have a dual aspect house. So the big window is just in front of me, obviously behind you. Does that make sense? Yes. And yeah, and it's either all or nothing. And trying to find somewhere in the house where the light is reasonable is really difficult during these winter months. So yeah, I've just finished work and made myself a nice cup of tea, just English breakfast tea in my fox mug, and thought I would settle down to talk to you today, partly because I have to, I wanted to get this out before the end of February. We're nearly at the end of February and I wanted to get a little podcast out to you, and then next week I'm going to do a small video which is going to be drawing the prizes for the Knit for a Stranger Mal, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later. So how are you all doing? I'm fine. I've been busy. As I said, I've just got in from work. It is now 4:15, so haven't got long before we have absolutely no light left. So I need to talk quickly, but not too quickly. So before we start, I thought I would show you what I'm wearing today. And I am wearing the Novelli T by Caitlin Hunter. And I made this some time ago. I shall stand up and give you a little look. So it's a beautiful little top with colour work that goes all the way around the back. Often I wear it with high-waisted trousers. Today I'm just wearing it with skinny jeans and a shirt just hanging out. And I made this using Whistlebear yarn, which is such a lovely yarn company. I do urge you to go and have a look. I bought the natural colour and the grey, this one here, these ones, to make my Carlina pullover by Whitney Hayward some time ago, and I wanted to use up those scraps, so I bought this teal colour from their online store, and I think they go really well together. I've still got loads of all of them left, so more colour work in the future, which is always good, and I feel like I need some more colours. I need to collect loads of oddments and make something really special. It blooms beautifully. I made the smaller size because I didn't want too much in the way of positive ease. I wanted it to be fairly fitted. And the little cuffs here, I did do the facing, which is what the pattern asks for, but they kind of winged out a little bit like that, and I didn't like it, so I ripped it back and then just did a few rows of rib before binding off. But yeah, really like it. Love this little top. It's a really interesting quick make. I recommend it. I recommend the yarn. Yeah, what's not to love? Caitlin Hunter patterns are always, or the ones I've tried have all been brilliant, and even if you're fairly new at colour work, everything is crystal clear, and she is a colour work queen. So yeah, if you can hear some tippy tapping, it's Molly walking in and out every now and then. So yes. Anyway, what have we got today? We have a finished object. We have 3 half-finished objects. A work in progress. I've got some plans. I've got a little bit of news about a new knit along that I'm going to be hosting with another podcaster, so I want to tell you a bit about that. I've got some acquisitions, and I'm going to do a little bit of a shop update, just a few things that are in the shop that you might be interested in. So I'm going to have a slurp of my tea. It's actually a bit hot. I want to make sure I don't burn myself. So the first thing is my finished object, and I made a shawl, and it's the Right Around the Corner shawl by Lisa Hans or Lisa Haynes. I'm not sure quite how you pronounce that. And I told you in my last podcast that I had an infestation of moths in my yarn stash, which was quite worrying to say the least. And luckily it was only in my personal stash. It wasn't in my shop stock, which is kept completely separate room and in airtight containers. So that was all fine. So at least it was just my own personal stock. And I did lose a couple of skeins of yarn. I had to put them all into quarantine, which I went on to Google, because that's what we do nowadays. Went on to Google and they said to put everything in freezer bags and put them in the freezer for a week. And then you take out the skeins, you undo them, you bang them out a bit, and then you wind them back up and you put them back in the freezer for a couple of days. I went another week because I just thought, get rid of the little blighters. So I was like, just gonna chuck them back in there. No food in the house. Well, we did have food, no food in the freezer. It was just full up of yarn. But you know, priorities and all that. So I was a bit stuck because I couldn't shop my stash to make something because it was all in the freezer. So I then remembered that I bought some yarn from Unravel 2 years ago, and I thought, I know where that is. That's in the lounge, completely away from that. It's been caked up because I started a shawl and then frogged it because it wasn't working for me. So I shall cast on something with that. So I cast on this Right Around the Shawl and Right Around the Corner shawl even. And so I used that yarn and I made it. So I'm going to show it to you now. So there we go. I'm hoping you can see that. I'm going to peek around the corner. So you have this lovely stripy part, which is the part you start with, and then you knit one border and then you pick up and knit the other border. And you make tassels. So there's one of each colour. Let me try and show those to you in a little bit more of a delicate way. Okay, so there's my tassels. The yarn is from Skein Queen. The blue colour here is Aunt Betty's Pond, and the brown colour was Reykjavik. And I think you'll agree they go really nicely together. It's got a lovely drape. There's some silk in this yarn, or these yarns, and they're beautiful. Oh, goes quite nicely with my Novelli. Look at that. But it's a lovely, lovely pattern. Really, really nice. Oh, look. I'm doing my usual thing of not modelling very well, but you kind of get the idea. So I used my Harry Potter purse for the tassels. I'll put a picture in here actually. I wanted to get them a bit longer. Ellie used a little tassel maker and it was quite small. So what can I say, Ellie? My tassels are bigger than yours. Don't want to boast or anything, but yeah, you can kind of go big or go small or whatever you want to do, but it's such a lovely, lovely shawl. Sorry about the light here, but you kind of get the idea. And Ellie from the Craft House Magic was doing a knit along at the same time, so I entered that too. So yeah, it was really fun. I think what I liked about it more than anything was that you work on yarn weight, so you work until you have so much left, and you know, and then you carry on. I don't want to say too much because it is a paid for pattern, but it's a really lovely pattern. I do recommend it. It's great for mindless knitting, and yeah, and I used up this gorgeous yarn in a really lovely project, so I'm really, really pleased about that. So yeah, Right Around the Corner shawl, recommend. You can read with it, you can watch telly with it, it's a great pattern. So yeah, so that's my finished object. So my half finished objects, of which I have 3. So the first one is the Prairie Socks, which I showed you on my last podcast. and it's patterned by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and the yarn I used was Burrow and Thaw in the low tide colourway. I did a cast on just with the contrast, and then I put in an afterthought heel and a wedge toe because they're my preference. That's not part of the pattern, but you can see the lovely pattern there. Now I have to say, and I don't know why, I have second sock syndrome, which I don't get. Excuse me, bit of a tickle, had a cold. Yeah, I don't get second sock syndrome, but for some reason I have with these, and I don't know why. I like the yarn. The yarn is merino nylon, but it's quite rustic, and I quite like that in socks anyway. So I know they're going to be really hard wearing. They fit me really nicely. It's a lovely fit. Enjoyed the pattern. Pattern was fine. I don't know, just not really feeling it. I will finish them. I just need to cast on the other one and get on with it and stop procrastinating. But yeah, love them, do like them, don't want to knit the other one. If anyone wants to knit the other one for me, answer in a comment or leave a comment. Only joking, I will get round to it. So I wanted some vanilla socks because I take socks usually with me to work, and I'm an outreach worker, so I visit lots of different places in a day, and sometimes I rock up to one place and I'm 5 minutes early for a meeting or whatever, so I tend to sit in the car and use my little sock bag here, which is like a bag I made ages ago, and it normally has a pair of socks in, normally vanilla socks, because you know I haven't got to think about it, I can just stick it back in. So I decided to cast on a pair in my Old Lang Syne colourway, which is here. So there's some lovely speckles in there, and this deep sort of almost like a dark denim blue. I really like these because they're gender neutral. Doesn't matter who you make them for, I think they're going to like them. So yeah, so that's the Old Lang Syne colourway. It's in my merino nylon base. You get 50 grams of the main and 20 grams of the contrast, and my vanilla sock on this yarn base is normally 64 stitches on a 2.25mm needle. If I was using my BFL, I would use a 2.5 and do 60 stitches. So that kind of knits up on a nice gauge for me. So I started the other one, started that yesterday, and I've done that much. And I still have left quite a lot of the yarns. So I'm going to have plenty there. Probably a little bit spare because, you know, these sock sets, I can't even speak today, do make a good size pair. I'm a 5.5 women's size. That's obviously UK size. I don't know what that is in European, but anyway, so it makes a good size socks with a good length of leg. If in doubt, wear your sock, you know. So yeah, so they're on my needles at the moment. I think there's still some left in the shop. You can go and have a look, but I'm really loving them. Like the colour. Okay, what else have I got? Right, in my not so dodgy bag by the lovely Ellie from the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, which is there, and I have her pin here somewhere. There we go. Have her lovely pin there. I wasn't going to cast this on, but you know when you see a yarn colour and you just think, I've got to do something with it. Well, I didn't even have the yarn, and then I had a load of stock arrive, yarn stock to dye, and I also ordered some new dyes, and my son's girlfriend Thea was around at the time, and she was sort of looking at them all going, oh, I wonder what that's like, I wonder what that's like. So I said, okay, should we just stick some yarn in a pot and dye something? So she chose the colours and she dyed the yarn. So and she was a very good student, and this is what she dyed up. Isn't it just beautiful? It's blowing out slightly. It's not quite as light as that, but it's you kind of get the idea. So it's got these peppermint sort of greens and then these deep pinks inside. So she dyed that up, and then I was like, oh, doesn't that need some fluff to go with it? So I then dyed up some fluff, which is my Surrey Alpaca Mulberry Silk base. This is just merino nylon, my usual sock base, and I dyed them up. So I really wanted to use them together. So as soon as it was dry, literally as soon as it was dry, I thought, right, what am I going to make? And I cast on a wrist warmer. Now I haven't sewn in the ends, so you'll have to forgive the long ends, but I cast on a wrist warmer. I shall pop it on to show you. So I'm going to have to, oh, I've got my bracelet on. This is my measuring bracelet that Jack bought me a while ago. So let's pop it on so you can have a little look-see. So look at those. Now these are the cabled wrist warmers by Knitting Pony. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Hoping it's not blowing out too much, but you can kind of see the halo there. So pretty, and I love them. They're so soft. So it's just got this cable that's worked over a few patterns, a few rows. And I love the way that you can either pull them up like that or have them scrunched up. Either way is fine. And I've got a really dark blue denim jacket and I thought they'd go really nicely. I was going to make a pair of socks with the rest of the yarn, just obviously without the fluff, but just with the, it's going up my nose, just with the sock yarn. But then I just really liked it. And then I thought, oh, it's a shame because that's not really my colour. And then I thought, actually, I think I can get away with it. Look, she says, wearing a mitten on her head. I think I can get away with that colour. So I'm going to make a hat to go with those that will go with my denim jacket. So yeah, so that's another half finished object. So I'm really pleased with that. Thea's obviously going to have a skein of yarn, but I'm going to try and, I think I'm going to try and dye some of that colourway up. And then she can think of a name because, you know, it's her baby. So, and we had great fun. So thank you, Thea, for helping me test out all those colours. Okay, what else have I got? Right, I've got a bigger, oh, just going off camera for a minute. I've got a bigger project here, living in my bento bag by Knitting Bag and Case, which is on Etsy. Do go and have a look. I bought a couple of other things that I'll show you in acquisitions, but I love this bag, it's great. And what I do is I tend to fold down those corners and then it sits on the sofa and it's lovely and big, as you can see. So I cast on a sweater, and this sweater was by, I can't think about who the designer is and I haven't written it down, but it's the Amur Sweater. And I saw a podcast, which again has gone completely out of my head, and I'm really sorry, but I shall put it up here. It's a great podcast. Please go over and have a look. She's quite new to podcasting, but she made an Amur sweater, and I thought it was just gorgeous. So here's mine. Love it. So it's got these lovely, they call them like strings of pearls or something in the pattern, going across the top. It's got a raglan decrease going down there, and in the pattern you change back to this colour for the bottom and then for some of the sleeves, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get my whole sweater out of 3 skeins of DK. Now I used my DK that I sell in my shop. This is the BFL Silk Blend, and it has a lovely drape to it and a nice shine to it as well. Not, I wouldn't say shiny, but it's got that sheen from the silk. And I want to use 3 skeins of that, and I am almost at the rib. So this is going to be a bit like my ranunculus short sleeved sweaters, and a bit like this one, so I can wear it with something cropped. And I'm on the rib, and all I've got to do is do a bit of ribbing around there and then finish off the neck, and I'm going to do that in the dark colour. I don't know, I might finish off the neck in the lighter, I'm not sure, but I'm going to give you a bit of a close-up so you can see the colours there. Love it, absolutely love this. So you can see I've got a little stitch marker here down the bottom, and from that point I had about 3 inches, and I'm about just over 2, so I'm going to start the rib next. I'm also doing helical knitting, so I've got my 2 strands here. Just undo my needles. So I've got 2 strands on the go, and I shall show you the yarn. So the top yarn, the little pearls, this bit is in hydrangea. You only need a tiny amount of that yarn. I'll have to weigh that actually and see how much I use. And then obviously I've got 2 of these because I'm doing the helical, and they're very messy. But this is Dungeon, which is going to be coming back in the shop very soon. It's blowing out slightly. It's a dark grey with purpley undertones, and it's really pretty. So yeah, so I've not got a lot to do with that now. It's just so, it's going to be so nice to wear. And I like the weight. I like the weight of it. It's not heavy, but you can kind of feel it. If that makes sense. So yeah, Amur Sweater, really enjoyable. And of course, you get down to here, and then it's like basic knitting. Size-wise, I did the small for the top because the same as this, I'm quite small across here. And I like what's this called? A boat neck. But I don't like it when it comes out too far. So I cast on a small, and then for the increases on the raglan, I carried on until I got to a medium. And then if I was to have done the small, I would have only had a couple of rows of decreasing under the arm. So I had a bit more decreasing to do. So you can see here that I've decreased to about here, and then it's then all plain. I just wanted them to sit a little bit lower on this one. So yeah, so love this jumper. It's going to be so good. Really nice. Look. Anyway, going on a bit, I know. But you know, that's why you've come here, isn't it? To just see all the knitty loveliness. Okay, so they are all my whips at the moment. So I'm doing pretty well. Now I have some plans and some acquisitions and a new cal coming up, and I don't quite know where to start because they all kind of intermingle. So I think the best thing to start with is that there will be a new knit along. Hooray! And it is based on a book that I got a little while ago, and this book is the Harry Potter Knitting Magic book. And honestly, I want to knit everything in this book. Now, I was watching Ellie from the Craft House Magic podcast, and she also had got this book. So we kind of got talking, and we decided, what about if we did a knit along for everything in this book? So we're going to be doing a joint knit along together. I don't know quite what the hashtag's going to be yet. I know it's going to start at the beginning of March. We just need to finalise things. But Ellie's been on a lovely knitty retreat, so she's got other things to think about than this at the moment. But when she gets back, we will be collaborating together on this, and we will be running a cal, and there's going to be some prizes to be had. So some of my plans are in this book, which is why I kind of is getting everything in a muddle, really. So my plans. So there's, as I said, I want to knit everything in this book. They are just, the patterns are just gorgeous, and you know, I don't want to give too much away of anything, but I mean, there's the Alpo sweater, which is amazing. What else have we got? I'm just going to literally flick through and just choose a couple of things. There we go. So we've got the Hogwarts cardigan. But what I love about it is, I mean, it's a beautiful book, but also what's really nice is you have all the pattern and everything, and then I've got to be careful that I don't show you anything. They have some really interesting information about where the designs came from and bits in the movie that you might not have heard about before. So it's really, really good. I do recommend it. The book is by Tanis Gray. You can get it from Amazon. You can download it on Ravelry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's loads and loads of things in here. So what am I going to make? Oh, hold on. I've just got to show you Hedwig. Look. It's amazing. Okay, what am I going to be making? So, the first thing I'm going to make, and I have made before, but not this pattern, is I'm going to be making another Weasley jumper. And this isn't going to be for me. This is for someone very special and someone very knit-worthy. And I have got the yarn, oh, and I'm keeping it in my Marauders map bag because, of course, you have to have a Harry Potter bag if you've got a Harry Potter project on the go. So it's my Marauders map bag, and in here I have the yarns. So the yarns are Cascade 220. They're all coming unravelled, which isn't a good start. Cascade 220 in their heathers, and these are the colours. I'm hoping you can see them reasonably okay. So the yellow is, well, the mustardy colour is colour 9564, and the blue is 2448. Yeah, love them. They're going to look so good together. So can't say who that's for, but that is going on the needles ASAP. So that's very exciting, excuse me. Okay, and then the other project, which I've also got the yarn for, is for me. And this one, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to keep going on, but look at the scarf. Okay, but I'm not knitting that. Jack seems to want everything in this book, but he's going to have to wait because first of all I'm going to be making Hermione's Time Turner sweater, which is just beautiful. And what I love about it is it's not in your face Harry Potter. So like people that don't know Harry Potter, I mean who doesn't, but people that aren't as obsessed as some of us over Harry Potter would just think that was a nice pattern. They wouldn't think, you know, but if you are a Harry Potter fan, you're going to look at that and go, look, it's a time turner. So yeah, am I getting a bit excited about this? So this is for me, and I have got my yarns and I'm shamelessly copying the colours. And here they are. So this is Luxury Fibre Space yarns, and it's in their Scrumptious 4-ply, which is 45% silk, 55% merino. And I don't know what colour this is. Colour gold, and this is colour cherry. And this is for me, and it's so soft, and you can see the shine. It's just beautiful. It is the softest yarn. It is gorgeous. So that's for me. So I've got 2 sweater quantities of yarn. So I need to get going with that. So yeah, so I recommend the book. It's brilliant. Come along for the Cal when we've kind of finalised it. It's going to be a great fun. And yeah, want to knit everything in this book. Fab. Okay, so they're my plans. Probably, oh, and also obviously I want to finish my socks and maybe knit a hat. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Got kind of a glowing arm going on. Okay, acquisitions apart from the book, what have I got? Well, as I said to you before, I had my moth infestation, so I couldn't show you some of the goodies that I got for Christmas because they were all in quarantine. So I thought I'd show you now. So the lovely Thea bought me some Biff Sugar yarn, and this is Hocus Pocus. There is the label, and this is in the Hocus Pocus colourway, which is just beautiful. So that is a merino nylon 75/25. So yeah, lovely, lovely and soft. My favourite one that she got me was also Biff Sugar by the lovely Alison, and this is Santa Baby. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. And this is a luxury one. This is 80% merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon. It is too nice for socks. I think this is going to have to be in a colourwork jumper. So it's going to go, I'm just going to stroke it every now and then. It's going to go in my stash. I now put everything in freezer bags in my baskets, which doesn't look as beautiful. But every now and then I can get it out and stroke it. So Yep, so she got me that one as well. And then the last one she got me, I don't know who it was from. I have to ask her and let you know, but it's called Candy Cane. And this is going to be my Christmas cast on this year. I'm going to make some nice socks out of that, so I love that too. So I was really spoilt by Thea. She was also the one that bought me the nudie knits, the naked Morris dancers and all that. So I had some really lovely presents from her. The other thing that I got, obviously along with my sweater quantities of yarn, was I got some king coal. And this kind of reminds me of school uniform and house colours. I don't know what colour house you were in. I was in the blues and we were Normans. So what colour were you in? Does anyone else remember that? So yeah, so I got some of theirs. I got it for Jack. He'd like some more socks, and although I would knit some hand-dyed ones for him, I'm aware that he is at university, doesn't have a lot of time and wants to check everything in the washing machine. So I find that zigzag are great. They last really, really well in the washing machine. So I'm going to make him probably a long pair and a shorty pair out of those. So that's that. So they're all my acquisitions, yarn-wise. But I did buy a couple of things that aren't yarn. So my time turner yarn is living in my new bag. It's a Highland Coo. Isn't he gorgeous? Just think he's so, look at that nose. So it's a Highland cow, and people in Scotland call them coos. So it's a Highland Coo, and this is from Knitting Bag and Case, which is the Etsy shop that my bento bag came from, and also that I got my pig, my massive pig bag for Christmas. That was also from Knitting Bag and Case. But I saw him and thought, what a good size bag. It's not too big, not too small, and also that face, just love it. So I bought that, and also while I was there, I bought a needle case because I've only got like a higher needle case, which is rubbish. I don't know why they use that fabric. It's like a satiny fabric and I don't like it. I don't like the feel of it. And anyway, I saw that they did cases and they did one to match my bento bag. So I'm going to open it up. It's got this lovely leather, that cord. No, it's not cord. You know what I mean, that. And yes, so I'm going to try and show you without dropping all my needles out of it. So here it is. So here it is. It's got this flap. Ooh. Ta-da. And also on this side, as you can see, it's got this little zippered pouch. Isn't that beautiful? Honestly, everything from Knitting Bag and Case is so beautifully made. Yeah, and then it just folds up and then you tie your things. Laces? Oh no, what is that? Answers in a comment, please. No idea. So yeah, so I really like that, and I love the autumny fabric. It's really beautiful. So I bought that too because I'm worth it. So what else did I want to talk to you about? The Knit for a Stranger Mal. Thank you so much to everybody who has given me lovely comments about it, who has donated hats, who has given hats away, who sent me hats. I'm overwhelmed by your generosity, and I know that the shelter that I'm giving those hats that you've sent to me and the hats that I made too are so grateful. So thank you so, so much for that. It's nearly the end. We've got a few days left and the cowl will be finishing, and maybe we'll be running it again. I don't know. What do you think? Would you like me to run it again? Anyway, I thought I would show you some of the prizes, which I meant to do quite some time ago, but I hadn't. So I'm terribly sorry about that. So we've got a few prizes on offer. We have some Shetland wool, which these are going to be gorgeous for colour work. I hope you can see them. There's some plums and greens and blues and mustards and browns and all sorts in there. So I'm hoping you can see them. Now I haven't written it down, so I'm going to try and take one out. Here we go, let's take this one out. So it is 4-ply, pure wool, unique Shetland, super soft lamb's wool. And it is from Wee County Yarns, and it's made in Scotland. And this is the heather colour. No, henna, can't read, henna colour, which is beautiful. So that is a prize that will be going out to some lucky and thoughtful person who has made hats. I have some Uncommon Thread Everyday Sport Superwash Merino, 100 grams. This one here, which has got some yellows and some reds and blues in it on a dark grey. It's blowing out a little bit, so yeah, it is blowing out a bit, but it's beautiful yarn. I have a sock set of backed Blighty yarn. This is the Home Fires colourway. Again, blowing out, but you kind of get the idea. Yeah, you can see here where it looks really pale, it's not. It's just picking up too much. There you go, picking up too much of the light. And then the lovely Kaz from the We So and So podcast offered me some prizes. Now, she offered me a prize, and then she said I could keep one and then I could give one to a winner. And I can't decide. So whoever wins this prize gets to choose between these two. So the first one I've got is a lovely bag that says knitting is my kind of thing. I'm not going to take it out. It's a little drawstring bag, and it's got these lovely glittery words on it. I don't want to take it out because it's all nice and clean and lovely in there. And also some Debbie Bliss yarn, and this is botany lace, fine merino wool, and it's colour 3009. There's the tag, and there's a badge that says Eat, Sleep, Knit, and the yarn, which is gorgeous. Greys and blacks and yellows, lovely. So that's one option. Option number two, oh, if I can reach, is this one, and it's got some lovely lip butters in there. There are some bookmark calendars. There's only one, but there's a book of them, so you can look at them all. So there's one there. Let me show you another one. It's a lovely tree. They're really pretty. So that's them there. So they're really lovely, and they are by John Lowry Morrison. So he's obviously the artist, so they're really lovely. And with those two, you get this yarn. Now there's no tag with this yarn, but it's the most beautiful coffee and blues and whites. It's really pretty. And I think it's a merino nylon. Yeah, it definitely feels like that. So yeah, so you get to decide which you would like, and I get to keep whichever one you would rather not have. So thank you so much, Kaz. I do really appreciate that. It's so generous of you. And thank you for making the hats too. And by the way, Kim, your hats came yesterday, so thank you for more hats. So, but thank you everybody who's donated, given prizes, just, you know, been really supportive. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's really, really lovely of you. Right, what I will do is next week I will do a very short prize draw. I will draw the winners and do a little video, and then yeah, if you can message me, let me know what your address is, I will get them in the post to you. So good luck, lovely people. Right, okay, so what else have we got? Bit of a yarn update. So let me just grab this. Oh, it's like a plate. I feel like I'm a waitress. Yarn, anyone? So we've got some yarn, and I'm getting such a pile here that it's all going to end up toppling on the floor in a minute. So what have we got? So first of all, we've got some mini sets in the shop, some spring-like ones. I'm not very good at this modelling, lark, so bear with, just pretend that, you know. So there's some lovely Eastery ones, a speckledy one in here, lots of spring colours, so they're in the shop. We're going to have, and I think there's going to be one of these at the moment, one of Thea's lovely, lovely ones, and there's the floof to go with it. So what I shall do, I'm hoping it's not blowing out too much. So I shall think of a name and then put that up in the shop and dye some more. We have An Evening on the Pier, which is this one. And this goes really beautifully with Save Your Blushes. So there they are together. They go really nicely together. And you can easily, you have enough to make a hat or put that into a shawl. Another one we have is Roller Disco. Now I have this on 2 bases. So here it is on the Stellina base. So there's all those really lovely 80s colours. That's the Stellina. I don't know if you can see any Stellina on there, maybe not. And then you can see a bit more, the colour takes differently on the yarn bases. So this one's the Stellina and this one is the Merino Nylon. So yeah, so you can see all those lovely colours. This one is Possibility, which I love. It's so pretty. I love those rich reds and purples and the mustard colour. Another one is The Wonderful Thing About Tiggers. Tiggers Are Wonderful Things. Not sure what I'm going to call that yet. Maybe Tiggers Are Wonderful Things, because that's what it reminds me of. So that's that one. And the last one hasn't got a name yet, but I wanted to show you because it's a new base, and it's got these tweedy neps in it that are all different colours. Look at that. Now some of you on my Instagram were saying that you really liked, it's blowing out a bit, you really liked it bare. And I thought about it, but the yarn is a little bit too grey in base to be bare. So I am going to dye them all. And I'm going to do lots of different pastel colours and also some deeper colours as well. But I just love the fact that the neps are different colours. They're beautiful. So yeah, so there's a bit going in the shop. Thank you for your patience as far as the shop's been concerned. I've been really busy and I haven't dyed as much as I'd like to. As I said, I do have a job, and yarn dyeing is my kind of chill out creative time. So so I don't get to dye as much as I would really like to. However, I've got loads of new stock, loads of new dyes that I really want to get in those pots. So I know that definitely over Easter there's going to be a lot of dyeing going on. So so pop on over there. Thank you all of you who have liked the shop and you favorited stuff and you've bought stuff from me. I really appreciate it, and don't forget to share them on Instagram because it's really nice to see what you're making with them. So yeah, so I think that's about it from me. I should just get back to the normal day job and you know, we're dancing tonight, so that's really nice. Work off a few calories after Thea and I spent watching Outlander a couple of days ago, drinking wine and eating chocolate. So so I'm going to go and burn off a few calories, and so that will be really nice. And I look forward to seeing you next week for the prize draw. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you're intending to make in the Harry Potter book, or what house colour you were as a child, or just what you've got on the needles. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you'd like to keep updated. But that's it from me, so until next time, bye!